John aka Chicken Fillets here. Now recently I've been thinking about moments in my life where I've gone, is that it? Whether that's from games, movies or
That's what she said!
So yes, we're going to be having a look at JRPGs that made me say, is that it? Well, you know, this could be moments about the story, the actual gameplay loop. So with that in mind, there could be potential spoilers for these games which are showing on the screen. There will also be some honourable mentions from the Chicken Fillets community for these games which are showing on the screen, so you now have had 2 spoiler warnings. So please don't put in the comments that I've spoiled the game for you, which has probably been out for ages, because you have been warned. I will also put the time codes as well, so you'll have full warning of which games are waiting to appear. Yeah. Now with this all in mind, if you like JRPGs saying, is that it? Or hearing a wee Scottish guy talk about it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now without further ado, is that it?
Lost Sphear, the 2017 JRPG from Tokyo RPG Factory. Now in this JRPG, we follow our protagonist Katana and his party as they look to restore the world back to its former glory, as well it's disappearing in front of our eyes. And how they do this is that they use the power of memories to bring places back to existence. Now this game sports turn-based combat reminiscent of Chrono Trigger. Now the aim of Tokyo RPG Factory was to recreate the golden age of JRPGs, which I do think they were successful with this title. So yes, I have actually recommended Lost Sphear plenty of times on this channel, and I do think that this is an awesome game. However, there is a massive caveat with this game which made me go, is that it? And well, that is because of the ending. Now throughout your journey in Lost Sphear, you're essentially trying to ensure that this world doesn't get forgotten about and doesn't just disappear out of existence, and this is to do with the moon of the world. It's been created to essentially wipe out the memories and restart this world. But what this essentially boils down to is you have the choice of sacrificing one of your characters, which will stop this from happening, or you do not sacrifice them and the process still continues. So I chose the ending where I did not sacrifice Lumina, and realistically that ending made me go, is that it? Because at the end of the day they just basically ran away from the moon, the cycle carried on, and they were basically up against hopeless odds. And that just made me go, oh, well, everything I did was kind of for nothing. And you know what, that is down to my choosing. Realistically, I should have gone for the tough decision of sacrificing Lumina, but I really grew to like this character. So you know what, on my next playthrough of Lost Sphear, I'll maybe, you know, go the sacrificial route. Bit morbid, isn't it? But hey ho, moving on. Granblue Fantasy Relink, the spin-off of the mobile phone hit series Granblue Fantasy. In this we follow everyone's favourite Sky adventures in a brand new adventure with action-based combat. Now this game went through a very long development cycle, but it was worth it. This game is utterly gorgeous with its beautiful cel-shaded graphics. I mean, it's probably the best cel-shaded graphics I have seen within a video game. So the real question is, why is this on this list? Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't really too pleased with this game. It was a game which made me go, is that it? And that's because of the gameplay loop, because what I kind of discovered with my time with this is you go to a hub world, a little hub town, and then you go on a mission. And then you return, go on a mission. And it's a very linear path from what I experienced of getting from into a mission where you're going from point A to point B, have a boss battle, bit of a story beat. Now when I got to the boss battles as well, they took forever. It felt like I was just fighting a sponge with very little reaction to it. which was really disappointing to me. Again, I think I really need to revisit Granblue Fantasy Relink, because this is a game which has been touted as some content creators' favourite game of the year, and I can understand this, but for me, it just didn't hit that mark. Anyway, let's have a look at the next game. Nier Automata, the action JRPG from Platinum Games. Now in this JRPG, we follow the story of 3 androids, 2B, 9S and A2. Now this game has fast-paced action-based combat that you would expect from any Platinum game. Now if you're a friend of the channel, you'll know that this is one of my all-time favourite games. I absolutely love Nier Automata. So you're asking the question now, well, what's the moment that made you go, is that it? Well, let me bring you back to the first time I ever played Nier Automata, because I bought this game on the fact that it just looked awesome. I didn't really do too much research into it, it just looked ace. Now, I completed my first playthrough as 2B, and when the credits rolled, I was like, is that it? I thought there was more to this game, because I really completed 2B's story within 10 hours. Now, I was thinking, wait 1 minute, is there not another character you can play as? Because I didn't know the fact with Nier games is that for you to understand more of the story, you need to do another playthrough, another playthrough, another playthrough. But with this, if you do another playthrough, you play as 9S, and so on and so forth. So realistically, this was just down to me not really knowing much about the game at the time. Yeah. I really love Nier Automata, and it's a game that everyone should experience. So yeah, let's have a look at the next game. Ys Memories of Celceta, the action JRPG from Falcom, where we follow our red-headed warrior, Adol Christian, in one of his new adventures. Now this time round, Adol has got amnesia, so it's up to this journey to fill in the blanks of his memories, and he's also been requested to create a map for the Forest of Celceta. Now this game is filled to the brim with action combat, where you'll be able to switch between different characters for different styles of combat. Also, this title has a banger of a soundtrack. So what is the issue with this one? What made me go, is that it? Well, in this case, it was the ending. The ending of this game really threw me off. Now with this ending, you go into a climatic battle on the top of a volcano. You defeat the boss and then boom, that's pretty much the story done. There's no sort of epilogue or any sort of consequences. It's a case of you beat the enemy and then Adol just kind of flies away on something, or it just was so baffling. It just ended so abruptly, and I was really disappointed by it, because this journey that I went through with Adol was amazing. And the other point with this is that this was my first Ys title, so it did leave a bit of a bad impression for the ending. However, the other Ys titles I've played, the likes of Lacrimosa of Dana, etc., have been fantastic. So hey ho, just a small blip I suppose. Tales of Vesperia, the fan favourite Tales of game from Bandai Namco. Now in this we follow Yuri Lol and Estelle, who have created the guild known as the Brave Vesperia, and we follow their journey around the world. Now with this being a Tales of game, yes, the linear motion battle system is in this title. Now here's the thing with Tales of Vesperia, this is seen as a fan favourite title, but for me, now this is where the "is that it" comes from. Well, for me, I found this to be very boring. I'm really sorry to say that, but I found this title, the story was just, There was just really nothing to it. I struggled to figure out who the main baddie was. Once you got up to the boss battle, the ending boss battle against Duke, I was like, right, I've done the battle, and again, it was kind of like the last entry. It just kind of ended abruptly. I really just didn't get the game. I just didn't connect with the characters. You know, it could just be a me thing, but this game I'd seen so many times hyped and raved about being such a great title, and I was just not seeing it. I was just playing and going, is this it? You know, but hey ho, what were your thoughts on Tales of Vesperia? Let me know in the comments down below. Now with this all said and done, I asked the Chicken Fillet Collective to throw in their JRPGs, their RPGs, which made them go, is that it? Let's have a look. Now first up we have Elliot with their comment saying, Final Fantasy X, the very ending when Tidus, after passing on, appears up out of the water, and then it just ends after all that. 6-year-old me was like, that can't be it. You know what, I could totally agree with this one. That ending of Final Fantasy X, when he disappears off from Yuna, was really great. And then they kind of threw that out there, and I know that this is an ending for Final Fantasy X Part 2 as well, where you get 100% and he reappears out of the water. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from with this, Elliot. Thank you for contributing. Then next up, we have a Scottish content creator who focuses on JRPGs like myself. It's RPG Story. Make sure to check out his content. So he is saying, playing Final Fantasy 15 to 100% completion, 120 hours of gameplay, and having zero clue what the story was, even about by the end. Now, Final Fantasy 15 I recently revisited as well, and it was the Royal Edition that I played via the Windows Edition, and a lot of the gaps were filled in my original playthrough on the vanilla version, so I understand this completely. Final Fantasy 15, you kind of need to know a lot of the lore behind it. So there's like the animes which came out about, I think it was called Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood. There was King's Tales as well. There was the film, Kingsclave. And yeah, I can totally get this. 120 hours not knowing what's actually going on. Absolutely amazing. As I said, make sure to check out his channel. Link is in the description. We have another good friend of the channel, Matthew, coming in with this comment. It's an RPG, but Mass Effect 3 was such a letdown. That ending and fixed ending both sucked. The biggest letdown JRPG for me was White Knight Chronicles 2 on PS3. Game was buggy and so disappointing. I never pre-ordered a game ever again. People like you who review games help me to never experience this again. Well, first of all, thank you for that compliment, but I totally get every single bit of this. So, Mass Effect 3. Before I really got back into my JRPGs, Mass Effect was a series I absolutely loved, but when Mass Effect 3's ending came out, and it was essentially pick what favourite colour you wanted, yeah, they even had to update the ending with a DLC. Now, White Knight Chronicles 2, this is a title that I've not actually played, but I've seen a lot online about how notorious this is. So yeah, I can totally understand why this game would totally put you off from pre-ordering games. So thank you to everyone who left a comment and got featured in this section. If you want to possibly be featured in a video, well, make sure to subscribe to the channel and keep up to date, because I often do roll call asking for the Chicken Fillet community for their input. Anyway, let's have a look at the final game. Super Mario RPG, the remake of the SNES JRPG classic. Now with this, we follow Mario in his adventure to try and save Princess Peach once again, but this time it's not Bowser who has captured Princess Peach, it is Smithy. Now this game has turn-based combat as well. Now I need to give some positive feedback about this game, because with this being a remake, it does look gorgeous compared to its original counterpart. But you've obviously got to ask yourself the question, well, why is it number one on this list? Now, let's be honest here. with this game has been hyped up so much by content creators, saying it's one of the best RPGs that they ever played whilst growing up, with nostalgia-filled goggles. Now, for me, I never played this game when I was growing up because, from my understanding, I don't know if this was released in the UK. I mean, certainly I was a Mega Drive kid. Yeah, I know, sorry. But, so this was my first time playing Super Mario RPG, and it's fine. I mean, it just made me go, is that it? You know, because for so long, this game was hyped up, and I was getting on the hype train, and yeah, you know, hype responsibly and all. But yeah, this game just really didn't click with me at all. It's a great game for, you know, a beginner's RPG. It's mechanically sound, it's got a beautiful soundtrack, you know, everything's there, but for me, is that it? That this is the game that everyone's banged on about for so long? I'm sorry if you love this game. It is a cracking game, but for me, yeah, that made me go, is this it? I'm sorry. Anyway, so there we have it. Those are the JRPGs that made me go, is that it? What were the JRPGs that made you say that? Well, let me know in the comments down below. Now, if you like what you're hearing and seeing on this channel, well, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, you know what to do. Hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye.